Hello everyone, my name is Mika Ross and I'd like to welcome you back to my latest series, The Sorrows of Painting. Follow along with me as I paint out my pains and sorrows right here on this canvas. Of course, I used to paint about happy clouds and friendly trees, but after my recent divorce settlement, there's not really much to be happy about these days. Now my clouds are gloomy and my trees are wilted, like my heart. Well then, let's get started, shall we?
Who's the adorable girl next door?
It's Michaela, Kayla Bill, Kayla Bill.
Hey guys, it's your girl Mika here, the adorable girl next door. I am in a really good mood today. I just had a Red Bull and a bowl of Lucky Charms and I'm feeling good. Not too long ago, I was lying in bed browsing through TikTok, like I do, and I came across the artist James Lewis. He created a super dope neon sign using only paint. It was way cool and it looked super fun and not too difficult, so I wanted to borrow a few of his techniques and attempt to make some of my own. So come along with me as I break down step by step of this really fun neon painting process. But first, are you subscribed to my channel yet? Look, I know I'm new here on the platform, but I have a lot of fun ideas for the future and I hope you guys come along with me as I continue to experiment here on YouTube and try to find my niche. I'm just posting videos here and there to see what sticks, but once it does, boom, I'm gonna take off running. So until that happens, let's get right into our video. Here's a list of supplies you're gonna need for this tutorial. 1 large and 1 medium-sized paintbrushes. Make sure they're soft bristled and pointed. 1 canvas in whatever size you need for your specific project. For this video, I'll be using some 16 by 20 inch canvases. 1 small painting roller, some white and black acrylic paints, 1 white colored pencil, and 1 airbrush system with whatever colors you think you're gonna need to create your neon glows. If you don't have some of these items, don't worry because I'll suggest some alternative tools that you can use to create some of the same effects throughout this video. The first thing we're going to do is grab one of our canvases and paint the entire thing black. And for this, I'll be using my small painting roller. If you don't have a rolling brush, then really any paintbrush will do. The roller just makes things much quicker and easier to make sure you don't have any of the white from the canvas peeking through. Also, any color will work for the background, but if you really want your neon signs to pop, then make sure you stick to deep, dark colors. If your canvas has flat edges, don't be afraid to paint those too. I think it gives the whole piece a much cleaner look. Once the paint is dry, take your white colored pencil and sketch out your design. Any pencil will work for this step, but white will show really well on top of the black paint. Also, we'll be going over the sketch marks with white acrylic, so the white pencil should blend right in. For my project, I'm using a picture I found on Pinterest as a reference for my sketch. And of course, I'm going with Ninja Turtles. For this next step, take your larger pointed brush and paint over your sketch lines with your white acrylic paint. Make sure your lines are thick and bold using smooth strokes. This first layer of white is going to be covered with color in the next step, so if you mess up a little, it's really not that big of a deal. But the cleaner the stroke, the better your neon effect will look. And now for my favorite part. Bust out your airbrush kit and start spraying over your white brush strokes. If you don't own an airbrush kit, you could just use a can of spray paint. But just like using the airbrush, make sure you practice your spray technique before applying paint to your final canvas. Choose whatever colors work best for your specific project and spray over your stroke lines. Keep in mind that the colors you choose for this step will be the final color you want your neon signs to glow. Use a somewhat quick hand when applying your air paint. Try your best not to double spray or hover over a single spot for too long because you might create too much buildup, which can cause your paint to drip. Unfortunately, my airbrush kit was super cheap and lame, so I had to use multiple passes to create my neon effect. But the intentions are to spray one time over your white lines, letting the paint create a gradient on both sides of your strokes. This gradient is the main trick to creating the illusion of your neon glow. Next, take your smaller pointed brush and more of your white acrylic and paint over your original lines, which should still be slightly visible through your colored paint. Stay within the center of your original lines and try your best not to extend past them. This top layer of white acrylic needs to be thinner than your original. try to keep this layer no wider than 1/3 to 1/2 of your original line thickness. These lines are a little more important than your original, so try your best to make your lines clean and as smooth as possible. And that's it! Once you're done going over your original lines, you should have successfully created a super dope neon sign. If you didn't, well then I blame myself. Perhaps I'm not a very good teacher, I don't know, but hopefully it worked out for the best. Finally, if you want to preserve your masterpiece a little bit longer, don't be afraid to spray a thin layer of clear UV protectant acrylic coating. And make sure you do this process outdoors. I found out the hard way because I sprayed mine indoors with all my windows closed, and I think I got high for about 10 minutes. So it turns out this style of art is simple to learn but very difficult to master. And while I am happy with my first attempt, I think it's going to take me a lot more tries to get anywhere close to confident with my final paintings. I really hope I can invest in a better quality airbrush in the future because I would love to take another whack at this technique. Whack at this technique? Or is it crack in this technique? Crack at this technique? Whack at this technique. Whack, crack, crack is whack. If you give this painted neon sign a try, I want to see. Share your masterpieces with me over on Instagram at Michaelaville, and I'll repost it on my Insta stories. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And as always, if you want to see more Adorkable Mika goodness, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell to see brand new Michaelaville content the moment it drops. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start out with a little resentment red. And maybe a little bit of hostility orange mixed right in there. We take some alimony blue, some soulless black, spiteful green, malicious purple, some stupid bitch white, and I want my golf clubs back Janet yellow. Now when applying your paint, don't be afraid to really just get in there. Really just put some muscle behind it. Just really don't be afraid to just kind of, really just lay into it. Just whatever feels natural. Just. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our painter's knife. Now this is a very flexible bending knife used primarily for oil paintings. But in desperate times, it could also be used to spread a little mayo on your cheese sandwiches while you enjoy your nightly cry in the bathtub. I am very lonely. Until next time, from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy paintings, and God bless, my friends. How did he paint with this thing? It's like a weapon. He makes a freaking masterpiece with it. I feel so stupid. Feels like I got a bunch of pubes in my mouth.